Hello everybody, welcome back to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. This is episode 186, and we're jumping immediately into a recap. Let's fucking do this thing. Mostly because I'm excited to see what happens tonight. Previously, outside the Dungeon of the Mad Mage, in the City of Splendors, party awoke, having escaped from the region of dreams, Dalcor, victorious. Velena at their side. They parted with Amislaria, their moon elf dream guide, and left the Temple of the Saladrin, returning home to the lifted spirits in the early morning of the 5th of Alturiak. There, correspondence from many of their sponsors awaited them, some with requests, others with information and aid, all with the explicit or implicit urge to see the party continue forward, down into Undermountain. But a roadblock awaited them there. House Ovrindar. The Drow house would need to be defeated or driven off if the party and their allies were to secure the upper half of Undermountain. And there were still other issues to take care of while they were in Waterdeep. The first of which was the matter of Bones' agreement with the Darkest Rain Shadow. The Tabaxi had promised a return to the old ways, though he had only a faint idea of what that meant. Still, the Bone Crafter was certain that it lined up with his goal of turning the Lost Levels into a thriving center of creativity. So he and Ezrah spent the better part of a day researching the old ways, and finding out quite a lot about the Malarkin, their successes, and their willingness to work with the elementals of the world around them in a symbiotic way, rather than an enforced manner. And then it was time to employ that knowledge, at least partially. Evening of the 5th, the lifted spirits played host to a gathering of dwarves and gnomes, all coming at Bones' call of a return to the old ways. Many of these hopefuls had little knowledge of what that meant. Most were just looking for a place to belong, but a few seemed to understand the implications. But Bones was unable to convince all of them to travel down, and in fact was unable to impress the most vocal member there, Medig, a member of the City Watch, who seemed to have a very good understanding of what Bones meant when he said the old ways. Still, while the night wasn't a total success, it was mostly a success, and at the end of the evening, after weeding out troublesome folk and a few withdrawing their interest, Bones and the party had 7 individuals interested in traveling down to the Lost Levels and working towards a restoration of the old ways. On the morrow, the 6th of Alturiak, the party went about making their preparations to return to Undermountain, with Bones taking care of one other important matter: Serpent's Fang, a cursed weapon of Dendar. With it, Bones returned to Falconmere Manor, and there, Jareth Falcon and Melanor Fellbranch, utilizing the concept of a heart of a great worm that Bones had brought back with him from Dalcor, they purged the serpent's heart of Dendar's taint, cleansing Bones of his divine curse and restoring the Tabaxi's use of a powerful weapon. Meanwhile, Ezrah, using the Tome of Calabash, delved deep into the history of the Warren, preparing for the party's potential journey there. Discovering the many horrors, creatures of nightmare, that Halaster Blackcloak seated within that place. It is the night of Alturiak the 6th, as snow continues to fall upon the City of Splendors, and creatures of shadow stalk its darkened alleys. And that is where we fade into our scene. So, It is nighttime. Alturiac the 6th. You guys have ended your day. I need some rolls from people.
Can we go back to discussing Dendar's taint?
do you want to discuss Dendar's taint? It's it's a perfectly acceptable taint to discuss.
Is it?
I mean, it's as legitimate a taint to discuss as any other taint you might want to discuss.
Do snakes have taints?
Do snakes have taints?
I mean, yes, of course.
Do
Because
snake gods have taints?
Don't they have like cloacas?
well, it taint the cloaca.
I don't think that's how that works.
Did you just say it ate the
No,
cloaca?
that's what taint mean.
No, yeah, I'm saying, but never mind. I thought you were saying it taint like
It taint. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I need to fucking remember what my goddamn thing is, actually. Ba-ba-bum. Ooh.
I think it's a wisdom check because
Ooh.
the Constitution was the Dendar thing.
Oh no, I know what the check is. I have to see what everyone's at.
I'm fucked, so...
I need a wisdom saving throw from our buddy.
Yep, that tracks.
Wisdom saving
Yep.
throw.
Yep, that tracks. I'll see you guys down there.
Wisdom
Oh,
saving
Jesus,
throw. I throw wisely.
14, baby! That's pretty good.
I'm never playing a not high wisdom character ever again.
You know what's gonna happen? You're gonna pick another dump stat, and then you're gonna roll poorly on that, and you're gonna never run a low that character.
Excuse me,
either.
I should clarify. Am I allowed to use my reaction to gain advantage on this?
No, this would be while you're sleeping, so
Okay.
there's no real
7.
reaction. Yeah.
Still
Nailed it.
better than a 1.
What are you? He's got 2 minds. He can react. What are you talking about?
I mean, Valena sleeps too.
What
Oh,
doesn't sleep?
they're not allowed to sleep. That's how the whole damn thing got started.
What? They're not
No
allowed
dream.
to dream. Get out of
I
here.
said what I said, and I stand by it.
I don't care where you stand.
Buy it.
All right. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Ezra,
Yep, I lose my day. I get it.
roll me a Constitution saving throw.
I mean, I'm not terrible at those.
Not terrible at those. Nice. Okay, 19. Actually, move over this scene while we get started. My mouth shut. 19.
At least it wasn't a natural one.
Yeah, very true. Okay. So, you all awaken in the morning. Ezra, you awaken in your new occasional room within
How much do I subtract?
the yawning portal. It's another 5 gold.
5 gold? Fucking...
It's because you show up in the middle of the night when most of the rooms are already taken and they have to make special arrangements for you. But Durnan makes special arrangements for you
Right.
because he is at least
He
vaguely, subconsciously
understands the-
familiar with what is happening. So, you all awaken. Ezra, in the night, had the foresight to pen a piece of paper or a small note and put it on the coffee table in the main room as soon as you enter into the living quarters space. So you all are informed that
PX, no sir.
he has gone to PX gotcha. He has gone to
yeah.
the
He's still trying to play with
Keep
it.
Playing.
He's like, oh, well, this is game time.
yeah.
Oh, he grabbed a rug and was chewing on it.
It was something like that. So Ezra is at the yawning portal. The question that I have to ask you all kind of is,
Bad little
what are
motherfucker.
you doing today? Are you actually spending time in the city of Waterdeep, or were you intending to head down into Undermountain
What's
today?
today's date?
The 7th.
Do we just want to stay until the 10th? Is it the 10th or the 11th when it rolls over?
I remind
Johnny's
you
like,
guys,
you motherfuckers.
you
Well,
can
the
do whatever you want.
8th
I remind you what I remind you every time you stay up for
longer
long
we
periods of
stay,
time.
the
The
more
longer
shit
you stay, the
happens.
more things happen down below.
No, that's
If
him
you
trying to
think it is
gaslight us into
worthwhile,
doing it.
if you think it is worthwhile to spend an extra 3 days without any real plans other than roll the shop, you're free to, though.
I don't have enough
anything-
money for it to be worthwhile staying down
I'm
here.
getting a little strapped.
I
got
mean,
some
we
money.
hadn't had a payday in a while.
Let's see how much platinum I sitting on. 175. Which is like a to like a normal NPC is like, I retire now.
I mean, I don't have anything I have to do. We can head down if you guys want.
Well, so today I can pick up my sending scrolls.
Yes. Yep. Easy peasy.
Tomorrow is when Vincent comes back with the information
Yeah,
that
but
you
what, I can
requested.
give that to my representative. I don't really care.
And if we're going back down, are we going back down to like go down?
Well, I need to deliver Aotid into 6, but we normally go by 6 anyway.
What do you guys want
I
to do?
assume,
Talk
I
amongst
assume
yourselves.
the plan would be
Like if we're
head
going
back
down, I
down and
need to stop by Blackstaff.
I would assume the plan going back down would be to go back down and then start trying to deal with either the Minotaurs or the whatever there's a level in between them, right? The Warren, is that what it was?
Yep. The plan is like a vague idea of maybe securing a supply route in the floor below.
I
Oh, you mean the old vicious troglodyte warrens with horrible experiments from Halaster that are akin
Yep.
to horror stories?
Yeah, pretty much.
wouldn't it make more sense to go down back down to 12 and then try and deal with the Minotaur, like what are they? The Zalra? No,
I don't recall this Minotaur you're talking about.
It's
I
the
remember the
smoke.
ghost Minotaurs.
the Ghost Minotaur. Yeah.
It's the fog. I did not write their name down.
The something. The
We were led to believe that's something we can take care of.
I don't know. They said we had to deal with it
Like,
in
I
some way or
love
another.
it's this concept that all of your characters are great at insight, but terrible at remembering what the fuck was
That's
going
bullshit. That is bullshit.
on.
Just
Okay.
because I didn't write one name down.
Well,
No,
no,
no.
I'm not saying because of the name. When you had been discussing your plans with House Freth, right? They had, committed themselves to this battle against House Avrandar, but they had told you of a number of issues that kept them from marching on House Avrandar. The Warren as a whole is one of those issues, and the various different, enemies and
Factions.
creatures and factions and things within the Warren, right? But still on the 12th level with House Freth are the Zazana, which is a tribe
Zazana.
of Minotaurs who live within that mist. The mist, the fog versions of those Minotaurs are just representations of the Zazana's will. There are very much flesh and blood Minotaurs within that fog that are apparently enough of a problem that House Freth would be concerned marching military units into the fog. Not to say that they couldn't do it, right? It's just that it's possible, should they do that, that one of the units might get harried or harassed, or multiple units depending on how things are done, right? Like, the whole concept is House Freth can take an army and march it to face House Avrandar, right? But that army might get poked and prodded and attacked from the flanks on the way there, thus weakening it, which gives it less of a chance of victory on the battlefield.
Okay.
I'm more leaning towards value in dealing with the Zazana, because not only does it impact the war, but it impacts them and their lifestyle regardless.
Right. So where the flip side is that the Zazana are also a barrier to House Avrandar. So it's like, do we deal with 12 first, or do we deal with the Warrens first and leave the barriers to the last minute?
They're still a barrier. They're the last barrier for Avrandar. They are the first barrier for Freth.
Yeah, but
That's a good point.
Avrandar's got to go through a bunch of shit, and then the Zazana, and then Freth is already at home, easy to reinforce. Whereas if we, like, I don't know, I don't really think it matters. I'm just saying that that's just something to consider.
I think there's power in granting them agency over
Avrandar
their floor.
does not have like control in the warrens, right? It's also shitty for them, right?
Not that
House
Avrandar is floor 10.
Yeah.
Warrens is 11, and the Freth are on floor 12.
Now, through your conversations with House Freth, you have been informed that both House
So
Freth...
we're going up to Avrandar?
We would be, yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
theory.
okay.
So in your conversations with House Freth, you have been informed that both House Freth and House Avrandar do have a presence in the Warrens, right? But neither of them has control of the Warrens, because there are multiple different factions and threats there that prevent... Plus, they're constantly skirmishing with each other, right? To prevent each other from gaining control. I will say, as a reminder, when this whole kind of like discussion and scenario started to kick up initially with Erelal and Driven and Zeron, right, all there, Driven kind of gave you the you know, cliff notes of the situation, but then basically said, we can talk more about it when you're ready to do something about it, right? Implying that there's more information for them to give you, that they might have ideas or plans or concepts that you could start from, or, you know, factor into your own ideas. That kind of situation.
Okay, so I think we just need to decide what we want to do.
I vote work from House Freth up to Avrandar. So take care of the Minotaurs first.
Do the things as you come to them?
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
That's what I said too, so I concur.
Okay, so I mean, just as a reminder, the journey back to 6 is going to be a little longer because we're going to have Eotadan.
So that's a question, right? Are you only bringing Eotadan? Are you not sending out the call to your 7 Old Ways members?
Well, I told them a 10-day.
Okay, so you're gonna give them a while to prepare and do all that shebang. Okay, sounds good. I will notate that.
Yeah, you know,
Has so been notated.
Is that a hard 10-day or is that a soft 10-day? It's an approximate 10-day.
I told him, you know, about a 10-day-ish.
About-ish.
Gotcha.
I was very non-committal.
Shocking.
Right.
Look, I ain't fucked up about it.
Cool.
Also shocking.
Is it?
No.
Ezrah, it's early morning.
Yes. Yep.
You're able to break your fast either down within the yawning portal, or you know, you can send down to have food brought up to you, right? you feel this kind of like itch under your fingernails. You feel this kind of like nervous restlessness in your knees. This kind of like jittery nature to be back in the dungeon.
Yep. I need my fix, boys. I need my fix.
You need your dungeon fix.
Yeah.
Jay over there scratching,
Yeah.
doing the scratch. What do you want to do?
I mean, I don't have anything keeping me up here, so I'm ready to go whenever you guys are.
Okay. I believe a couple people had so Matashtai doesn't have anything that he needs to prep or do. Ezra, you didn't have anything that you really needed to prep or do. Ashes, you wanted to stop by. You want to pick up your sending scrolls and stop by the Blackstaff. And
Correct.
Bones, you want to get Eotodin, who's already been warned ahead of time and is prepared to go whenever you say.
I need to go pay for my gem as well, the one that I corrupted, but that's about it.
Okay, so what do we want to do first? Ashes, you're sending scrolls. You're easily able to pick them up on your way to Blackstaff. Do we want to do... Eotodin doesn't need to be a thing. Is literally just stop by, say, hey, we're going. He grabs a bag and comes with you. So do we want to do Agita's first or Blackstaff first?
I will go.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Agita to pay for the gem that I corrupted.
Uh-oh.
It is what it is.
You head to the strange house in the North Ward that serves as Agita's shop, her little curio gem shop. The frozen, kind of like overly cold nature of it, she never seems to leave the position that she is in whenever you enter into this very kind of small, cramped, fur-covered shop. She's just this kind of like hulking form behind this overly small counter. But you enter in and she's just, Bones. How have you been?
Heyo. Fair to middling. I'm pretty good.
Have
How are
you
you?
come to purchase new wares or to return what you owe me?
I have come to return what I owe you. And I give her 60 gold, or 60 plat.
60
So-
gold, that was the deal, right?
you begin to
Score
kind of
the
like
hag, see what happens.
you begin to like count out the money or put the money out on the table, and she looks down at it somewhat disappointingly, right?
Yeah, there was a little bit of a mishap. The gem got a little corrupted.
She smiles at you, but as she smiles at you, her mouth goes a little too wide and her upper lip goes up a little too high over these two overly large canines that seem to kind of like bulge a little bit, right?
No.
I don't need insight to tell me that she's not happy about that.
And she looks at you and she kind of like tilts her head a little bit and taps this overly long blackened fingernail on the countertop in this arrhythmic beat, and goes, and you decided to just bring me money as per our arrangement rather than try to bring the corrupted gem back to me.
Well, yeah. We agreed if it was, blemished, tarnished, or another, in any kind of devalued way, I would just pay you for it.
She looks at you and she says, I thought you would at least try to pass it off on me.
Well, I thought we were valued business partners, or valued business acquaintances, so, we made an agreement.
No insight. I love all four of you having such high fucking insight. No insight required. She was not expecting the feline rogue to be so business dotted line, right? Like I's dotted, T's crossed, right? And I will have you roll an insight check for me on this particular thing. Roll me an insight check. DC 15.
Okay, that's my bag of holding. This one is insight. This button. I rolled a 17.
You get the sense, right, that the whole thing was a setup. That she assumed that the crystal was going to be tainted or altered in some way, shape, form, or fashion, and that she assumed you would bring it back in an attempt to maybe knock off some of the price that you were going to owe her. She wanted that thing.
Well, I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
And
It's
you also
pretty
get the
dangerous, though.
profound sense that it's probably a good idea that she didn't get that thing.
Yeah, probably. You know, it's pretty dangerous, you know. I'm a protector of nature and all, so.
She kind of like grinds her teeth, but she realizes that she has no one to be angry at other than herself. You stuck to the letter of the deal. She just assumed that you weren't going to. and she just like, it's been a pleasure doing business with you. And she kind of like scoots the platinum off the counter and into one clawed fist. And she's just like
Yeah.
clenching it, just like, ah.
Very good,
Honestly, best case scenario when making a deal with a hag. Best case.
yeah. Anyway, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate it. I'll see you guys next time, or see you next time.
Your business is always welcome.
Your partnership is always valued.
And you realize, like, she's got some different, like, thinking to do. In the future, she is probably going to handle you in different ways from the hag gem merchant perspective. You know?
Yeah, probably.
Alright. That's that. Bones pays for the corrupted gem. Learns a little bit more about his business relationship with the Boer hag. Ashes, you're up. You make your way.
Africa.
What?
You said Europe, I said Africa.
God damn it. You make your way across the city. Into, I believe, the
Like my
upper
way downtown.
castle ward. Here, let's do a flippy flu. Let's do a flippy flu. Onto the Waterdeep map. Yeah, you make your way up into the, or down into the castle ward. Past the Great Market, past the Halls of Justice and the Font of Knowledge, down Sword Street to the Blackstaff Tower. Familiar feeling, stepping up the stairs, that distance push, and then suddenly you're there. You step inside and are greeted by the peculiar elven figure Hastades, and sent not in a random wandering direction, but up the grand staircase of the foyer, to the double doors that lead into a massive audience chamber that is opulent and odd. It's richly appointed, no doubt. The entire place draped in velvets and silks, gold and silver, various gemstones studding the crenellations of the room. It's got this kind of like almost grandiose architecture, something that's like you or I might relate to, like Turkish or Arabic like grand cities, almost kind of like Aladdin-esque, right? Very richly appointed, a lot of very warm tones.
Mhm.
And it's filled with fucking weird shit. Like just random desks, like they would look like our like middle school desks, right? Like a single seat with like a board as like a right, but
Yep.
on them will be piled high like a stack of perfectly squared bananas.
Bananas.
Perfectly square bananas.
Not like an individual square banana, but the stack of bananas is like Tetris geometry squared.
Mm.
And slightly at an angle, because those little fucking desks, the top of them
Yeah.
is always like slightly at an angle.
Mhm.
And there's
Missing a
just
foot.
various odds and ends like that, like this giant fish eye, but it's basically a googly eye, and Ash's has no fucking analog, and it's like 10 feet wide, right?
Mhm.
And it's just like slanted, like leaning on top of something, and you look underneath it, and it's a marble pineapple.
Right. Of course. Why? What else would it be?
And sitting at the end of this, like 60 feet of audience chamber, right? Sitting at the end of it in a relatively richly appointed, kind of like, not throne, but what would be akin to a throne, right? Kind of like draped is Vajra Sapar, who is what looks to be like halfway through a bottle of wine.
Oh.
At
Damn, she drinking.
8 in the morning.
She keeps off hours.
I mean, it's 8 o'clock somewhere, right?
5 o'clock. Get the saying
No,
right.
no. I know what I said.
No, he means it's 8 o'clock somewhere right here.
I'll walk up. I got your letter. We're about to head down.
She doesn't look up at you as you approach, and you realize she's kind of like looking down at what looks to be like this amulet that is draped around her neck. And it's this 6-pointed star. And it's like this combination of silver and gold inlays, and there's this blood red gemstone stuck in the center of it, right? And every once in a while you see there's this kind of like sparkle that shimmers across the whole thing. And she's just been looking at it. And you speak, and she kind of like flinches, as if she has not noticed that you have entered and approached her. And she looks up, and she drains her half goblet of wine, throws it over the edge of the throne. You don't hear it land; it just disappears.
Okay.
And she slurs her words at you. She says, "What did it say?"
It said to come see you. In fact, I'll hand it to her.
She just like, you hand it to her, and she does not reach for it. It floats through the air and then zips up and over, and is gone. And she just kind of like splays her arms at you. The amulet drops from her grasp and hits her chest, and she just like splays her arms at you, still like draped over this throat. And just says, "See." You, out of the corner of your eye, about 10 feet off to the side of this throne, is this almost kind of like, compared to the other shit in the room, this more normal-ish table, like this high-top table. And there's like 6 empty bottles of wine on this high-top table.
I'll like, is Hastata still around?
No, he's out out the fucking door, down the grand staircase, out in the foyer.
Did something happen, Vadra?
Something always happens.
I mean,
Many somethings happened. Some of those somethings happened some time ago. And some of those somethings happened last night.
True.
Ah, she's fucked up.
Time? Question mark.
She's just shit faced right now.
This all seems very normal.
I'm just sorry. I'm usually used to you pacing wildly, trying to stop the world from ending every 3 seconds.
It's a rare occasion where that's already happened.
World's ended.
The world is ended.
It is over.
No,
Hope you enjoyed
it's
your life.
been stopped.
Yeah, it's been.
Oh, you have prevented the world from being destroyed. Well,
Not me. And she kind of like looks around.
I start looking where she's looking.
She puts her hand out. And she looks up at you for a second. Like, not her hand out to you. She just puts her hand out to the side. And she just looks up at you. Like, it wasn't me. But it was because of me. But not because of me. And then, whoom, a wine bottle sails out of the air from, like, nowhere and, boom, it hits
She
into
was
her
sitting
hand.
there summoning another bottle of wine like Thor trying to get
It's
Mjolnir.
like fucking Mjolnir just flies. Yeah, absolutely.
That's
No,
my
no,
next
it's coming,
character. I want
it's coming.
Mjolnir, but like a bottle of wine. That
Don't we
beat people
fucking
to
all?
death.
Like, come on.
Right. That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely would be great. And I mean, she poof, uncorks the bottle of wine. You see, she just kind of like flicks her thumb, and magical pressure uncorks the bottle of wine, and she snaps, and a new goblet apparates in her hand, and she pours herself a glass of wine.
Well, this might be for, this might work out anyways. That large battle with House Avrindar isn't going to happen immediately. We've got some other things that we're going to have to handle first. There's a whole entire floor between Freth and Avrindar that's going to have to be handled. And you seem to be incapacitated for the time being.
I am not incapacitated. I am very much pacitated. I could pacitate you without any strain. And she kind of like blinks and flutters.
She's gonna pacitate you.
She's pacitating.
Ooh, you're gonna imagine.
She's about to pacitate out.
But that's not the point. I have not been idle, obviously, but in a different sense. Busy, busy, busy. She takes another drink. And then she holds the bottle of wine has been floated over to that table where there are empty bottles of wine. And she holds out her hand again and she says, "So you're leaving soon?"
Yes, we're leaving today.
Okay.
In fact, I think.
And
we're
you don't
heading-
know if you'll be back? Between,
That's a-
before, after...
Correct.
She
It's
says
unsure how
those
long-
three things, and then you see her kind of like stare off into the distance like she's stuck in a reverie for a moment.
It's like does, just out of curiosity, does she have her her like staff with her? Is it like
You see the black staff is
Uh-huh.
significantly shorter than it normally is, but you see it's like on this holster at the top of the throne, like directly above her.
I'm just curious.
And she's so she seems lost in this moment for a second, and then this like duffel bag flies out of the darkness and into her hand. And she looks at it and she looks confused for a second, like, and she looks down at her wine. And then she looks at you and she kind of blinks and she's like, "Oh, right." And she tosses the duffel bag to you.
Ugh.
So you didn't give me much time, but what I've been able to collect is in there. I know you were really hoping more for, like, people, but we're kind of short on those right now.
People don't fit in a bag.
And you see her face kind of like go dark, and she kind of gets lost for a moment again.
I'll like give her a minute to process.
After about like 30 seconds or so, she kind of like blinks out of it and takes another sip of her wine, looks up at you.
So you're good, right?
I'm the Black Staff. Of course I'm good.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I get that. But from what I gather...
Ashes, take the fucking bag, and good luck.
Alright, well... if as many, cataclysmic things keep happening as often as they seem to do around you, you might want to find a paladin before too long.
What? Why?
Or a cleric, or any form of lesser res. Is it lesser res that cures a poison? 5 points from lay on hands will do it at least.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like you've played a paladin before.
Mm-hmm. What?
What?
You could just get a mercy monk, a Mitch monk.
That's true. Yeah, there's
a
probably
Mitch monk.
plenty of ways.
In
A
the
Mitch
future, they will always be referred to as Mitch monks.
Mitch monks.
You just turn it and say, "Hey, hear me."
Ashes, you have a duffel bag in hand.
I'll enjoy your victory. You've earned it.
Ashy, we don't know that.
And I'll sling the bag over and start heading out.
Walk about halfway down the room towards the exit, and she calls out to you and she says, "Ashes!"
Yeah.
Victories are kind of sour when you don't bring everyone home. Try to bring everyone home.
Sage.
Yeah. I plan to.
And she drinks her wine.
And I'll head out.
Okay. Ashes. You exit the Blackstaff Tower, and either sometime within the Blackstaff Tower after leaving the chamber, or shortly thereafter leaving the tower, you can check the bag and find a number of goodies stashed inside.
I got a goodie bag.
You got a goodie bag. You find, and I will give you a copy pasta, but you find
Okay.
20 sheets. 20 sheets of paper birds. 1 sending
birds?
scroll. 2 scrolls of lesser restoration. 3 scrolls of cure wounds. 5 potions of healing. And 1 greater potion of healing. And within, you also find what looks like a calling card for a Byron Davenport. And it just gives you an address and says diviner. It still counts even if I don't know you're coming.
That name. Hold. It's not in my notes. Do we know who Davin? Do we know who that is?
How would I know who that is?
Okay, and
I don't think we've had any interactions with any diviners, so
We
Yeah.
definitely have not.
We're actually very anti-diviner in this group.
Someone's very anti-diviner in this group.
Fake magic.
okay.
Fucked up.
The fake
It's
magic
the-
industry
it's the
is just
illusion
trying
guy.
They're trying to cloud your vision.
Okay.
Have you heard about this?
And I'm sorry. That was like a what was that
It's
last
like
item?
it's like a business card.
It's just a business
It's
card.
a guy's name. It's a profession. It's an address, and it's like a little catchphrase.
Okay.
And the address, as you kind of like look at it, is on your from this particular direction. It would be on your way to the Yawning Portal. It's in the castle ward, closer to Agaron's palace, or the Palace of Waterdeep, rather. Purgaron's palace, Agaron's tower.
I'll read it out loud and be like, Zolara, you wanna pay this guy a visit?
I mean, assuming it doesn't turn into anything major, then I don't see why we wouldn't.
All right. I'll make my
I
way
mean,
there.
if we don't, it seems a little disrespectful to Vajra.
Yeah, I guess so. Then I will go to the diviner's place of business.
You make your way down down the streets of Silver, across Zelda Street to the Warrior's Way. And you actually pass by the Temple of the Saladrin as you are heading on your way to this address. I say you're heading on this way to this address. You give the address to a carriage driver, and the carriage driver's
Right.
like, "All right, I'll get you there." Right? And you actually see the Hawkman as you kind of approach. The Hawkman being one of the massive statues of Waterdeep, the quote-unquote guardians of Waterdeep. And the Hawkman is kind of like portrayed as this guy with hawk wings, right? And it's not at the Hawkman statue, but it is within, visual close proximity, right, of the Hawkman. That you find this not a place of business, really. It's a small apartment. It's like a row of small apartments. This very kind of like squish, kind of like high building, right? Where it's basically like the building itself is barely more width than the door itself. So you're kind of like, how the fuck is what? But there's a row of like 20 of them, all just kind of stuck together, and each one is painted a garishly different color.
Oh, maybe that's cool. All right, I'll find that person's address and rasp upon the door.
You go to knock upon the door, and before your hand connects, there's a slight breeze down the way, and your hand connects, and you rasp on the door.
Oh, fuck you, Jeremy.
I mean, it's the divider, so I gotta be like, oh, the door opens before you know. Yeah, you knock on the
Constantly
door.
divining.
Like I said, fake magic.
Get out of here. Oh fuck. You knock on the door, and a moment later, there is a little kind of like voice that you hear in your mind, and you say, "Who is it?"
No, you don't know?
I'm someone you're not familiar with. My name is Ashes.
Okay. I was gonna say that's not helpful, but then you answered. I don't know why you didn't just lead with the answer.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because had you led with the answer, I actually would have been at least passingly familiar. Just come in. And you hear this click.
All right, I go in.
You go in, and you walk in, and there's immediately this. It's very tight. It's a very tight hallway, right? And it just leads forward about 5 feet, and then up a quite steep flight of stairs. That leads to a door, right? The door is unlocked. You presumably open and step inside, and it's easy peasy. It's a small apartment, and you walk into a little sitting room. And when I mean small apartment, I mean it's a fucking small apartment. This hallway that you walked in was maybe what, like 3.5, 4 feet wide, right? The apartment itself is maybe 10 or 12 feet wide, right? It's tight, but it's long, right? And you realize
3,000 gold a month.
Yep, right. This whole fucking apartment complex is these
real.
weird, right, like upstairs,
Like, you need to
downstairs,
get away from
upstairs,
that shit.
downstairs, like super narrow but super long little apartments. And standing off on one side at a window looking down onto the street is this middle-aged man. Dusky, kind of like brownish hair, kind of dusky skin, very passably average, right?
Okay.
Not a handsome man, not an ugly man, not a hairy man, not a unhairy man, right? He is almost quintessentially average, and he looks over at you and he says, "Ah!" That was me saying because I nearly splashed my beer everywhere. He says, you are Ashes. Ezrah has told me you require some assistance.
He is a diviner.
Fake magic.
I didn't tell him that.
No,
It is magic.
Vajra told him that.
I know. If I was playing a dumber character, I would absolutely make that assumption.
I mean, you were playing that character up until you got that fucking headband.
Shut up.
Actually, I mean, I say that, but
gonna say it.
that's not true. Your character always had like 11 intelligence or something like that, which is
Alex,
smarter than the average person. You know? Ugh, I got beer all over my
Now
face
he's
mask.
smarter than extraordinary people.
Now he is a smart boy. Yes, absolutely.
I don't buy it.
So this guy, he greets you. And he says, he introduces himself. He says, I'm Byron. I'm a diviner, and I'm part of, and he kind of whispers, the Grey Hands. And he does these air quotes, right? And he says, I help out. And I didn't have anything particularly going on. Vajra sent out a little call and figured I'd offer my services. I'm not sure what I'm offering my services for exactly, but you know.
All right. Well, I asked for Vajra's help. She has enlisted me in exploring the Undermountain. And that process has been hampered greatly by one House Avrindar.
Okay. I'm going to interject here and say, I am a diviner. I divine things. I do not fight things. I do not defend things. I do not buy anything things that are not divining things. You got the wrong guy. However, as an ally to the Grey Hands, I can offer you some divinations to kind of help out, and he'll kind of give you a he'll describe to you a concept, right, of what he's talking about. He means very specifically he can actually cast some divinations for you. There is both the spell divination, right, which he can perform once per day. So in this particular instance, he can perform it once, right? Or he has access to things like augury, right, which he could potentially do as well.
Okay.
So to kind of like give you a concept of what that means, right? Divination means you can ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within 7 days. The DM offers a truthful reply. The reply might be a short phrase, a cryptic rhyme, or an omen. The spell doesn't take into account any possible circumstances that might change the outcome, right? So if shit changes within the next 7 days, that could change the outcome, such as casting of additional spells, the loss or gaining of companions or boons or things like that, etc., etc. And casting the spell multiple times in a day can give wonky results, right? And then augury, if you're familiar with that, is the wheel and woe, or nothing kind of spell, right? Type of situation. But again, asking about a specific course of action. The thing with augury is only a specific course of action for the next 30 minutes. Divination is 7 days. So augury is much less useful from a broad standpoint, whereas divination, you could ask a lot of different things.
Okay.
You don't have to use it now.
Here's the thing.
For clarity, he's saying he will do this for you as long as he has time.
Yeah.
Right? So if you're in Waterdeep and someone wants to go visit him, specifically Ashes, but I'm sure, conference can happen, right? You're all on the same team. But specifically, it's a situation of he is making his services available to your party, so you basically get a divination a day. But, how often you guys are up in Waterdeep, how often are you going to be able to take advantage of this?
I understand.
Et cetera, et cetera.
I was about to say, I thought you would be like, all right, pick now. And I'm like, oh, God.
Now, he's saying, absolutely, you could have him cast something right now. You're about to head down into the dungeon, right, to do this whole thing. You guys just had a whole fucking argument, right? Well, not an argument, but this whole discussion of, should you start by going to the Warren? Should you start with the Zazana? Should XYZ? There are dozens of things that you guys have talked about over the course of the last couple of days of, what do we do with this? What do we do with that? Etc., etc.
All right.
And he's got potential answers.
I think I got a question. Like, how much context do you have to know to get a accurate response? Like, if I were to ask you,
he's using magic. The context is somewhat irrelevant. Okay. Right?
So he does not need to know, like...
He doesn't need to know the whole backstory, no.
Allies, capabilities...
Nope, absolutely not.
Okay.
Because he's not answering the question. He is using magic to determine and answer the question. I, as a overarching, deity, am answering the question.
The deity.
I would ask...
Divination is often actually referred to as the ask the DM whether or not this is a good course of action spell.
Peek under let me see behind the curtain just a little bit.
Absolutely.
All I would like to ask, if the resources we have currently are enough to achieve our goal, which is to put House Avrandar to heal.
What a broad question.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
he goes through the motions. You see him, he walks over to this, what looks to be like this permanent magical circle on the floor of a study, which is kind of like at the end of one portion of this apartment. And he kind of like waves you over to sit in on a little futon while he's prepping to cast the spell. Goes through the motions, burns some incense, kind of like does some breathing exercises, then casts the spell, and his eyes go, like his hair goes, he doesn't have very long hair, so it just goes, right? It just kind of like statics. His eyes go completely white, and he does that kind of like classic oracle kind of scenario where he is speaking in a voice that is not his own. And he says,
Play the best song in the world.
Or
Ah,
Your
it's just
soul.
home.
he says, in a very kind of like ominous voice,
Welcome to the late show. I'm your host.
you can always roll the dice, but
Thanks.
oftentimes more is better.
Fair. Okay, all right. Okay.
Do you guys know Waterdeep kind of looks like a ribeye?
I can see that, yeah. I can see that.
Yeah, a little bit.
I have.
Well,
And that is not the first time that I've looked at a fantasy city and thought it looked like a piece of meat.
All right. Well, thanks for the help, and thanks for the future help.
I mean, come back if you feel like you need more cryptic answers.
Yeah. We'll do. And yeah, I appreciate this. This is helpful. And
Do you want me to? Do you need an augury or anything?
yeah, sure.
Remember, augury only counts for the next 30 minutes.
Oh,
So it has to be something that's going to happen within the next 30 minutes.
shit. I don't even know if we're gonna be able to get into the dungeon in the next 30 minutes.
Will I die in the next 30 minutes?
All right. Now, the answer is this the answer that's wheel or woe?
This is wheel, woe, wheel or woe, or wheel
Wheel
and
or
woe, or nothing. Yeah.
Sure. I'm. This is gonna be completely left field, but then
Sure.
this is completely personal.
Do it up.
But can Zalara cast Scorching Ray from the circlet that I have? It doesn't require attunement. And you can just cast it, I think, what is it, once per dawn?
He goes, I don't know what any of that means, but let's see. And he goes through the ritual of this, through the motions of this ritual, and his eyes go white, and he just goes, wheel and woe.
Not as helpful, but thank you anyways.
Okay.
And yeah. Other small talk. Yeah. Thank you. Good day.
So, I mean, I was gonna make some toast with marmalade. You're welcome to stay if you want.
That was fucking sweet, dude.
And I know that Bones has something to do, right? So
No, Bones is done. Bones is.
No, I assume we were doing it at the same time.
Oh well, sure, yeah.
Nah, I shouldn't. I appreciate it. All right, I won't get out of here.
Shrug, suit yourself. All right. Eventually, you all reconvene in the yawning portal. Ezra, do you wait to be summoned, or do you wait for them to get there and like send someone up to let you know they're there, or do you go down and wait for them?
I'd go down.
Go down and wait for them. You're not pestered, perhaps, but there is a growing infamy or fame, depending on the person, right?
Funny.
About you and your party. And Durnan has been treating all of you, but especially you, right, a little less brashly, a little less, what is it? Is it Brooksley? What? Brooks?
I don't know what word you're trying to say.
Yeah, you got me lost.
Brusquely? That one. A little less brusquely. It's like a little less broccoli. He's been more more polite and more empathic towards you these last few kind of like days and weeks, and he doesn't make a show of it or anything like that, but you can tell that both he and the staff, particularly Bonnie, kind of like try to keep people off of you, right? It's less of an issue when it's like the evening and the place is crowded and all four of you are coming and going, that type of thing. Like you get bothered, you get rounds bought for you, people come and question all of you about like what happened and what you've been doing. Everyone wants to know all the things, right? But like it's easier to pass off in that atmosphere when there's four of you and when there's so much else going on than it is early in the morning when there's fewer patrons and those patrons are not shit-faced, right? And some of them get a little like pushy. Some of them get a little like, what have you been up to? Kind of like scenario. So Durnan and Bonnie and staff kind of like shield you a little bit, right? Like whenever there are people that seem to get a little too like, they don't just like keep everyone away from you, but if anyone comes over to your area and like doesn't seem welcome or doesn't seem to like take a hint, then they'll like someone will come on over and mention something, or someone else from across the room will like call out to that person and be like, oh hey, so and so, right? To like, and it's all clearly set up to you, right? Like that type of thing.
Exploring,
regardless, everyone is able to reconvene at the yawning portal. Obaya is sitting nearby you, Ezra. She greeted you when she came down in the morning, and she's got this bowl of... It looked like it was gruel initially, and then it moved a little on its own.
I'm sorry, what? I'm not one to judge other people for their cuisine.
Okay, it's Jake over here saying, "Fuck spicy things." But that's not
True
Ezra.
fantasy.
That's not
You
Ezra.
love spicy things.
Right. Oh. Okay. Yeah. You guys you convene. It's all four of you. It's early-ish morning, mid-morning type scenario, depending on how early you got started. Probably like 9, 10-ish, somewhere in there. And you're all prepped, ready, available. What do you want to do? Are you just dipping on down? Dip, dive, duck, double, doubles? What's happening? Ayatadin and Mossy are with you. Matashtai,
Oh, hey, do
what's
we
up?
want to?
Do we do nighttime daily stuff? Or
You guys already did that daily stuff during the day of the 6th.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Did we want to sell that spell book?
What
Which
spellbook?
spellbook?
Halaster spell book?
The one that has like a 2nd level spell in it?
Yeah, the one we stole from the study.
It's like 2nd level spell, but like a bunch of like missing pages, was it?
Burnt
I
out
don't know,
pages,
something
yeah.
like that.
Burnt out pages.
I just have it.
Up
Wait,
to
you
guys.
have it?
Yeah.
I have it too.
Oh.
Okay,
Alright,
rock,
well,
paper,
you can
scissors
have
for it.
I don't want
I
it.
don't
I'll
care.
delete it. I delete
Okay.
it.
Neither of you want it. You probably should
Ooh.
sell it if that's the case. Oh. How much does a
You
thing
change-
go for?
you-
Incredibly unique
Change your numbers, so I don't know.
spell book.
I'm
Penned by Halaster Blackcloak.
yeah, that's how it works.
And also, I don't remember what the highest level spell in this book is.
9, 10.
Okay, let me look it up real quick.
It was like a 3 or something, maybe a 5. It was low.
All I know is that little twat was unamused.
That little twat.
I mean, he's not amoozled. What can he say? Okay, we've got
There's like a dozen mythals in there, yeah?
would have been 3rd level, would have been the highest.
That doesn't sound familiar.
And spellbooks for 3rd level, she will pay 25 platinum pieces, so 250 gold.
Not bad. Not bad.
It's something. You know? It be something.
Can confirm. It is something.
It is more than 3 gold.
Exactly.
But less than 5.
Okay.
Not less.
So you guys are free to make some small talk, some conversation. There aren't I mean, so I've described the yawning portal plenty of times. So let's flip over to yawning portal. It's been a while since we've been over there. I've described the yawning portal plenty of times in this kind of like seasonal weather, right? Because even in the morning here, which usually is not a busy time for the yawning portal, there's still 20 plus people in the tavern because a lot of people are staying in the inn part, right? So they break their fast down here, and a lot of people that are just from the surrounding area come here to eat or just come here to while away their day because they're not really doing much else in the middle of fucking winter, right? That type of scenario. So even in an unbusy time, this place is kind of a hotspot for activities. So there are people to chit chat with. There's stuff to do. Assuming though that you guys are all good, it's pay up and head down.
Not before then.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
And 5 silver.
a
Alright.
gold for everyone, plus a gold for ooh, not gold for Mossy. What wasn't it? More because of the lift for Mossy? I don't remember.
Yeah. Wasn't it
I-
like just like 10 total? Like we just paid all
It was some it was some like big batch thing basically, I think. Oh, that just froze on me.
Same.
Oh, he back.
He back.
You froze, boy.
It froze,
It
boy.
happens. Discord and WoW, they don't like it when I have video on both.
They've been crazy. They've been crazy. Yeah, yeah. Anyways, so yeah, if you, well, I don't want to do like that much, so I would say it's 3 for everyone. Bones, you've got yourself, you've got Mossy, and you have Aotodon. So we'll say 3 for everyone else, 5 for Bones.
Okay.
As the
You mean 3 for everyone else is in 1 for each of us?
Yeah, sorry, 1 for each of you, and then 5 total for Bones. Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
I'm done paid.
And I've deleted Halaster's book.
Halaster
I also
book.
have deleted Halaster's book.
I
Oh!
also deleted Halaster's book.
I also have deleted Halaster's book. Okay. It's been such a
One
long
week.
time. Down into the first level of the dungeon.
I Spartans.
You guys are let down through the winch and the rope and the straps and all the stuff. And you arrive.
Point of inquiry I would have established outside of prying ears. Were we grabbing Malarkin Ale for House Front?
Oh, like grabbing a barrel and taking it down to the
I
6th
thought we
floor?
were going to, yeah.
Yeah, might as well.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. I'm pretty
I
sure
know- I know I do not have capacity to carry one in my bag of holding.
I'll just carry one.
That's an option.
I'm pretty sure I have room in mine.
I strunk, I carry.
It is time once more as you travel downwards through the dungeon of the Mad Mage to click that situations tracker on up and on over. I'm assuming, please correct me if I'm incorrect in my assumption, that you are not making any intentional stops on your way through the first floor of the dungeon.
First floor, no.
Correct. Also, I would like to try something, which I alluded at earlier. I want to take just a leather strap or something, right? And I want to fasten it around the pommel of Zalara, right? And then I want to take the Crown of Blasting and affix it so that she is, you know, the closest approximation of holding it, right?
Okay.
And I want to ask her, all right, this is the next experiment, right? I want to see if you can cast the spell from this item. It doesn't require attunement. It's just a spell in the Circlet Scorching Ray. And I want to see if you can cast this spell without any of my involvement.
Roll me 2d20s because you're rolling with disadvantage.
Okay.
Swear to God, Jay, if your sentient weapon blows me up.
8.
You go through that, and then you say, you know, you explain the situation, and then
Nothing.
I'm trying.
No. Okay. All right. No, don't have to now. Like, we'll just leave this here and like periodically.
Well, don't leave it on me. That's gonna be really awkward to try to like wield in combat. What if we get attacked?
Well, I mean, it's leather. I could cut it quickly if necessary.
You feel this eye roll in your head.
Cut it with what? Not with me.
I've got other weapons.
Oh, you have other weapons now.
I do. I've got one that's made entirely of silver.
He's got claws also. He can, you know.
And my hands are weapon. Kind of like the alien model.
My hands
Are they registered?
Are they registered? There's a hand registry?
Yeah, you got to register deadly weapons with the county.
What county?
Matt walks up. I'm registered.
I'm got an open carry.
Matashtai, you walk up and you say, "I'm registered." Mossy trundles up with 3 claws raised and just grinds. And half of you, I say half of you, actually only Ashes doesn't understand what he says because Matashtai can understand anything.
Yep. I'm the only one.
And Mossy says, "I'm registered."
I'm gonna make an assumption.
You have illegal weapons, sir.
Go ahead,
I just imagine Eotodin's like watching this.
Eotodin's just like
Basis.
in the back, just,
on,
the whole
take
time,
them.
just like,
Go on, take them.
Interesting. That experiment does not seem to bear fruit, at least not in the immediacy.
Mm-hmm.
And you travel through the first level of Undermountain into the pillar of forests, down past the winding tunnels into the the spotless corridor filled with light. You come upon the map room with the hole in the central portion of the chamber where you had found Halaster. You smell sulfur in the air, but as you have done previously, right? Like you have passed by lower level developments with the realization that the dungeon is always going to continue changing after you pass through it, right? And you could spend an eternity just going back and forth through the first level of the dungeon, trying to constantly clear it out, trying to constantly, keep things from doing things here. But there's always gonna be someone that comes back in, right? So you smell that smell of sulfur and push on past it, past the two-headed king statue, which is looking rather melty these days, and down to the second level of the dungeon. And within the arcane chambers, I do believe we have an intended pit stop, correct?
Yes.
We want booze.
We're getting some booze.
You want the booze! Once again,
Booze.
passing through this chamber, the situation tracker will tick up, and as you kind of like go, you pass through the remains of the tall market, which you can see has been heavily scavenged. You pass through the corridors of the murals that move, showing the displays, the ancient times of the Malarkin dwarves, right? This is one of those chambers that is very heavily architectured from the Malarkin age. And you pass by the Willow Forest portal and instead head down south towards the Rust Gate, and beyond it to the animated ballista, which have been reanimated. And we're just gonna have Matashtai and Bones both roll me a d20, and as long as they don't naturally fail, we're Gucci. In fact, we naturally succeed. We're double Gucci. Very nice. You guys are...
That's right.
You know at this point the approximate, like, range of these things. You know how fast you need to be moving to get to them. Matashtai can catch the magical bolts out of the air, and it's easy enough to deal with them once you are upon them. You pass by the copper cylinder, past the chamber in which the brewing vats are all housed, and then head into the northern section where you'd been picking barrels from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have stayed out with Ayatodin just so he doesn't navigate traps and...
Oh, sure. Fair. Easy enough to stay at the mouth near the rust gate. No problems. And you're also able to realize, right, like, once again, no one seems to have found this place or been infiltrating it or been taking barrels or anything like that. How many barrels are you taking from the pyramid?
How heavy are they a piece?
I believe 400 pounds.
400. Let's see if
It's big.
how much shit do I have in my bag of holding?
They're real big.
Just to make sure, because if not, I'll just.
I've heard that.
Wait, sorry. How heavy is it?
It's
I do
big.
not have. 400.
I do not have 400 in my
Yeah,
bag.
each barrel weighs approximately 400 pounds because they are 40 gallons of dwarven ale.
And liquid is fucking heavy.
It's also a massive
Actually,
fucking barrel.
I do have 400 pounds in my bag. Oh no!
I
sorry,
believe the
that's-
last time you guys did
no,
this,
that's the
you had
wrong
kind of
place,
like
wrong bag.
moved some
have that.
stuff around to open up space in two bags and do it that way. So it's up. It's
Yeah, I
up to
think-
you guys.
Don't we just need one, right?
Just
we're
need
taking
one?
one down
You
there.
just want one?
I mean, if we can take two.
I don't have room.
So you can
would
do
have to
one
cut
in
180
Bones' bag,
pounds.
and then Ashes has already said he's willing to carry one, right?
How,
So you
how
could do
much
that.
room do you have in your bag, Mitch?
120 pounds.
Oh well, I would need to clear out 185 pounds.
Oh, sorry, 220.
I also have
All right, I'm not
a
going to
little over 200 pounds. I have capacity to take stuff too. I can take up to 200
I'm not going
pounds
to
of stuff.
transfer my shit, but I transfer 185 pounds of shit to somebody else.
So
when I take-
you have 3 bags of holding, right? Or do you have more than that? You have 4
We
bags of
all
holding
have
now.
bags now.
Ashes, what's in your fucking bag of holding?
I'm actually not too far off. I've got like 157 pounds. So if I've got
You have 2,000 pounds worth of stuff or worth of
Mhm.
space in your bags of holding. How much poundage do you guys have in total? Pound me, baby.
285
God,
I
pounds.
have
Jeremy.
280.
Okay, Mitch has 280.
That's your
Bones
total
has
weight,
285.
or that's what you have left?
That's
what I
what's
have
in
in
my
there.
bag.
I have 270.
270.
157.
157. You have 992 pounds of your 2,000 pounds. So you can fit, by moving things around, you can fit 2 barrels into 2 bags. Right? So, and then, again, if Ashes wanted to carry one, Ashes is physically strong enough to just carry one. He's just going to have to maybe be a little sluggish in setting things down
Yeah,
if
I
anything
will
happens.
definitely be mechanically a little sluggish, but like if it comes to fighting, I'll put it down.
Or, I mean, worst comes to worse, right? Like, you lose a barrel. Oh no. Right? So, your maximum capacity is basically like 3 barrels right now.
It's a finite resource. It is an oh no. What do you mean?
It is a
Okay. if you think we're gonna be playing long enough for you to go through this finite resource,
You know,
By
I
the
didn't think we'd
time
be
we are
playing
low,
I didn't think we'd be
you-
playing for 4 years, but here we are.
you
So-
have rebuilt the old ways, and the brewery's up and running again.
Yeah, we're
exactly.
never gonna be able to produce this.
What? Come on.
Where's that can-do attitude?
Ashes is
goblins.
already reverse engineering liquids.
That is true. You have an
Maybe you can-
alchemist.
maybe I can like deduce the like it's an ale, right? So maybe
How
I
much
can-
hops? How much
Yeah,
barley?
yeah, yeah.
If
What
that ain't
seasons of
alchemy, I don't
spices?
know what is.
Right? Who would argue that?
All right, whatever. We're taking 3 barrels down.
If that's what
Alright,
you guys want to do, you
fine.
don't have to. You
I don't
can
really-
you
I
can
don't-
rearrange
I
things to put 2 into your bags. Ashes can carry a third if you want to.
I'm fine either way. It doesn't matter to me. Whatever you
okay.
want to do.
Bones, what do you think are the goblins' ability to measure their intake of specialty ale?
Low. I think
Okay.
they will drink it because it is delicious.
Or they'll hate it.
They could hate it.
Because it's not piss water.
They have a refined
Good
palate.
old piss water.
Goblins do have a refined palate.
Well, refined towards what?
Exactly. That
Towards
is a
piss
very
water.
specific. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. Some adjustments are made. Some things are passed around. 2 barrels are stuck into bags of holding, and then a third one, Ashes, cumbersomely carries out of the slanted, trap-filled tunnel, right,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
leads
not-
down into the
easy.
storage.
Not a problem.
It's slow going. It takes a little bit of extra time. So we're gonna take situations up an extra pip. And then
Worth it.
you guys are able to head whatever direction you would like to from this point. So where are you going to now? You are on the 2nd level. Upon the 2nd level, you have magic gates that you could take, or you could head down to the 3rd level to the Legion territory.
Yeah, I think we either go and take a boat down, or we go and take the gem gate. That's just my opinion, though.
Hey, question. Did we ever, like, finish clearing out the menagerie?
Yes, I think we did. Well, sorry, we left monstrous-looking things.
Was it the like the mind
Things
flayer?
that
I
look
think
like
we
they
left.
would be none too happy to be alive.
That's fair.
Or things that we felt would definitely attack us the moment they were
Yeah.
released.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely not suggesting we do anything now. We've got an agenda. Let's worry about that. But like, if there are things still there that we wanted to handle,
Handle it.
Is it better to
I'm
take
not-
the dragon gem or the dead tree? Since we're already on the 2nd level.
The dragon gem, we can get protection,
But it costs you
No,
a
we
gem.
can't
but it costs us a gem. Yeah.
get
but
protection.
that's going to be for everyone.
You can get protection from Prita Kipa, who does the blood curse.
Yeah, but then I die when
You're not gonna die.
It's like, isn't it like one?
like
I
half
don't.
my health.
It's like 1d6 or something like
It's
that.
like
No.
40-12 or
every
something
time
like
Is
that.
it?
I write, it's
Let me
1d8.
check. Let me
It's like
check.
40-12 or something.
Or d12.
It
Shut up.
is. Oh, it's 2d10. So it is potentially.
Ah,
You could
you.
roll high, and it could be a big fuck you. It
What
absolutely could
percentage
be.
of your life is 20?
Did that
You really
whole
wanna
you
know?
losing myself thing ever resolved, or am I still losing parts?
Roll me a. What do you think you need to roll for this?
Oh, insight? I'm insightful about myself?
Roll me an insight check into yourself.
Alright. I'm
Do
not
I
trying to
feel
hide
like I'm
nothing from
missing
myself.
shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel like you're missing shit.
Shit, I'm still missing shit, bro.
Now, I will clarify. You felt like stuff came back, after the Dendar curse was purged by Jareth and Melanor. So your Whales of the Grave that you had been missing, those are back. Right?
I don't remember missing that.
Yeah, you were missing like one free usage or something like that. So not a big deal.
Okay.
But there does still seem to be something else that has been taken from you, so to speak.
Neat. All right, well, whatever. Whatever y'all want to do.
You guys need to talk to the Legion at all?
No?
If I recall, we stopped by and told them of the coming war so that they could prep, but we said that we would follow up with them when we were more prepared, right?
Yes, I will say the only thing that I remember being this kind of like, obviously it's not something that you have to do, but they had asserted the last time you were there that when you came back, they were going to be sending a unit with you to help protect the lost levels. And remember, it was partially because you're the Legion, but it was also partially because you told them that a unit of House Breath was on the lost levels protecting the Skull Takers.
Yeah, they don't want to be showed up.
Yeah.
Not protecting, reinforcing.
Reinforcing. There you go. Reinforcing. Yes. That's what they think.
Boys are competent.
Whether it's truth or not, they totally think they're protecting.
Well, okay, fine.
So, obviously, again, you guys, if you don't go there, they're not going to know, right? But that is something that had been discussed.
Well, I think based on that, we should go to them and just use the gem gate. We can get a lot of people through in a minute.
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
100%. You can get entire units through a gate in a minute. Just fucking line them up outside and go, hup two, hup two, hup two, hup two. As soon as the fucking thing's open. Okay, you guys head down. Goblin.
Sugar, we're going down, baby.
I guess technically it's down to Hobgoblin Town.
Hobgoblin.
You head down the stairs. You find the bustling streets of the eastern Stromkolder ruins more filled than ever. And there's still that militant air that you had experienced the last time that you were here, right? The remnants of the Xanathar guild having been kind of like absorbed into the Legion, and a massive influx of goblins and bugbears having come in, kind of like turning the hobgoblins, which had been a majority of the Legion, into a minority of the Legion. That militant air is still kind of here, but if you had remembered from the last time you were here, when you kind of like restarted the Legion war machine, there's a militant air, but there's also a, like an iron fist kind of air. You see patrols of hobgoblins through the streets of the eastern Stromkolder ruins, and you see a stockades where a handful of goblins and bugbears are serving sentences for disturbing the peace. You are led through the eastern Stromkolder ruins, and through the Legion's southern territory into the western Stromkolder ruins. You have an honor guard that leads you, and you're taken without question and without pause to the feast hall of Ezrah, Legion Commander. Which is fun. I get to do this.
What are you gonna do?
What does he get to do? What's he doing?
You are greeted as you enter into... Oh, no. Oh, shit. In a momento.
Oh, no.
Forgot to make a thing.
Not a thing.
Oh, did I not? Aw.
He does not get to do that.
Well, I do get to do one thing, but I don't get to do both things. I forgot to make a thing for a particular person. It's okay.
No.
I'll make it next time. It's no big deal.
I feel cheated.
Me too.
I mean, you
And
should.
lied to.
I can't believe I've fucking done this to you. It's a
Wonder-
huge disrespect. Truth be told,
I believe it.
I'm a worthless nothing, and I
Join
should
the club.
be punished for it. Okay. Well, you enter into the into Azraq's feast hall. You're greeted by the Legionnaires, you're greeted by Lurkana, and you are greeted by Azraq, Legion Commander, who for the first time, I think, in you ever meeting him, has his black iron helmet removed and his white, milky eyes on full display.
Damn, milked up.
You see
Milked up.
Azraq, the Legion Commander.
Damn.
Oh,
He's so cute.
Who's got... Yeah.
is that his dagger?
No. His dagger...
Very small.
he wields a great sword. He wields a great sword. His dagger
this
is on his
tall.
hip. Yeah.
That is more great than sword.
It is more great than sword. Yeah, absolutely. He wields it more like a polearm than a sword, in point of fact.
I'm be honest, I've been picturing a lot more like Urukai than
The only thing that
What we're
bothers me
getting
about
here.
it is that the handle is slightly curved.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the only thing. Like,
Look,
it's the only critique of the picture.
I'm doing my best with AI. It's kind of a pain in the
I mean,
ass,
it's
but
working.
yeah, absolutely. What I
the
don't get to
fingers
show you
aren't
is I don't get to
terrible.
show you Lurkana's new art. Because she also has new art, but I forgot to make a handout for it.
That's the
Um,
one you forgot?
Yeah.
Oh, Jeremy.
Well, I mean, I can show you it. It's just not going to be the full art. Is the scenario? Because
no
okay,
no
well,
half
fine.
measures.
I won't show it then.
Good. No
Well,
half
looks pretty
measures.
good. I know what it looks like because I'm the.
That's true.
I mean,
He does know what it looks
I
like.
might have made some adjustments.
I don't care. No half measures.
Anyways, you are welcome as wonderful, honored members of the Legion, and you're asked, right? Kind of like, when is war?
I don't know. Pretty soon. We're clearing some roadblocks.
There's like half a dozen like goblin scribes that are like chattering back and forth to each other, like writing down things, and you can see they're in here because they're writing down battle plans and logistics and rosters and things like that. And one of them yells over to another in goblin, right? Who speaks goblin? There's one of you that speaks
Jay.
goblin. Jay
That's
speaks
me.
goblin. Yeah, Ashes. This goblin yells over to another goblin. Write down soon! He said soon!
Thank you, Discord.
Noise
I
gate.
appreciate it.
I don't.
Discord cut out all of that.
I,
no idea what
I
it just
appreciate it.
He said, write down soon. He said soon, but in a very high-pitched screaming goblin voice.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways. So yeah,
Silly
you're
goblins.
you're not grilled, but it turns into a scenario of like, you're here and the Legion will actively make use of you and include you in war councils and blah 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 until you're like, yo, we gotta go. Right?
Yeah, hey, we were just stopping by to tell you we're heading down. You know,
Like, you know,
Ah.
real quick, right?
Wonderful. Let Rolvik know to bring together his unit. They're leaving.
Yep.
I like Rolvik.
Mhm.
I hope he doesn't
I, ho-
die.
I, I hope he
because,
likes your boys, because
Look, he's been pretty respectful of our ways.
Anything else going on?
No. Other than
Okay.
that, we'll just, go and get Pretty Creeper's blessing. I assume everyone's gonna line up and get that. I don't really know.
I'll just bitch at Jay the entire time.
It's up to them if they want to do that. We're gonna take the portal, but if you guys want to take a boat, I encourage that.
Okay,
So
have a boat?
Rolvik shows up, right? Like Rolvik is
They've got
nearby.
a
He
boat.
sends word. Rolvik comes to you and he says, preparations have been made for the Dragon Gem Gates utilization. A war chest has been devised in preparation of moving the Legion should it need to move. And basically they tell you that as long as the Legion is moving with you, the Legion will provide the gems to move.
Wow,
Cool.
such good
cool.
allies.
I like that.
Nice.
You guys make allies,
have allies.
you continue to foster the relationship with these allies, and you get shit out of the alliance. That's what happens.
All right, let's go get cut.
Let's go get cut!
Oh, get cut.
Let's go get cut.
Alright,
Go and get cut. Is 2d10 really?
everyone roll their 2d10. You make you're ushered
let's
down
go
the
beat
darkened
my ass.
hallway, which, by the way, right, like, I haven't really described this, but the Legion is making progress
Yep,
on
it's
cleaning
about
up
right.
the eastern Stromcolder ruins and the western Stromcolder ruins.
Now.
They're removing... Holy fuck!
Fucking karma.
Ouch! They're removing a lot of debris and kind of like
fuck?
clearing the city streets and reestablishing like houses. Preta Kripa's area, though, remains and kind of like just left intentionally in ruins, right?
She
So,
likes it that way.
yeah, it's not only that she likes it that way, but like Preta Kripa is not the Legion. Preta Kripa is an ally of the Legion, right? They respect the Kripa and they leave her to her own devices, but she is a world apart from them. And it feels like a world apart as you walk down this detritus-filled, dimly lit kind of like alley that leads to her abode. And she does her whole weird speech with her kind of like what is it? A musculid kind of like skin, right? Like her damp, almost kind of like fuck, what's the called? Illithid kind of like style skin, right? But instead of an illithid, she actually just looks like she has an octopus head. So, she goes through the whole motion. She bloodlets into the cauldron and then grants you this blessing of blood and lets you stride forth. That's a hefty toll to pay from Ashes and Matashtai. I feel like
That's good.
anything sub
Ow.
anything sub 10 is good to go. Anything 15 and up is like a kick in the nads. That's rough. Ooh. Big oof. But
I mean, mine was still 10% of my health.
oh, get out of here. Get more health.
Kind of hard when I roll a d6 or a d4
yeah.
or whatever.
It's a pain in the ass, absolutely.
Yeah.
Shut up, Jay. I know exactly what you were about to do. Talk about how you can just take the average.
took the average.
Yeah, you can see his mind
Look,
working.
the thing about it is even if you're taking the average of a d6, it's still lower than taking the average of a d10. He's still gonna have low as fuck ass health. At that point, you might as well just roll so you have a chance of getting sixes. You know?
Nah.
Yeah, Jay.
Nah. Because
Because I'm gonna
The
three-shot you anyways.
I was about to say the law of averages does not work. I defy the law.
I think there was at one point I rolled 3 1s in a row.
It was pretty bad. It was pretty bad.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
No, average.
Unfortunate.
You all receive this blessing. You are, you're kind of like, terminology here. You are graciously heralded and then let free from Azrok's attention, basically, right? As the Legion commander turns back to his other duties. And Rolvik and 6 hobgoblins, 6 members of the Legion, are sent with you to the Dragon Gem Gate. The traps there currently deactivated so that there aren't any issues. And there are guards posted on that property to make sure, instead of utilizing the traps, should any members of the Legion return or need to kind of like get a message through to the Legion, right? You do notice that Rolvik brings with him some gems, right? For the return of this squad or the reactivation of the Dragon Gem Gate on the other side, should he need to do so, right? So there is now a direct connection between the Legion's hold and the Skull Taker's heart of the mountain, right? And a slightly less direct connection between the Skull Taker's heart of the mountain and House Breath's Spider Watch Keep, right? With the issue being that the House Breath's Spider Watch Keep's entry is in the mist, right? With the Zazana. So,
Another reason to deal with the Zazana.
potentially, yeah. So, Rolvik steps forward, places a gem into the small gold dragon's mouth. The gold dragon bites down, shattering the gem, and the gate, silvery filled, envelops the space, allowing you all to one by one dash forward, followed quickly behind by moss-covered rock near stream and Eotodin, who has just been going through this whole thing the entire time, just like, what?
Just go with it. It's fine.
What?
This is the life I live.
Yeah, this is the Legion. They're cool. This is a magical portal. It won't hurt you.
Oh,
This is the
God.
Prince
Most
of
of the time.
Creepa. All right, here. Are you
Yeah,
gonna be okay to
let her
cut your
cut you.
hand? Or...
Oh shit, he's got to roll 2d10. He might die.
not gonna die.
He
He's
does
like
not
a
seem phased
50-level
by
caster
the
or
scenario.
some shit.
Oh, really?
Nor do any of the hobgoblins, right? Like,
He's
they do
actually
not
a
seem
lich.
shamed by the situation.
Yes, he's a lich.
I don't know what you're
That'd
talking
be
about.
neat, actually.
You make your way.
I would love to have a lich ally.
Who says he's going to be an ally when he reveals that he's a lich?
Dun, dun, dun.
I mean, maybe he will, maybe he won't.
Bones might have more beds to cut after this.
Uh-oh.
You think I won't?
I think we all know you will. And that's
Don't
why
test me.
Jeremy's dangling
That's,
it.
that's
right,
yeah,
do not
that's the
Custom
point.
beds.
Do not test me on this.
Not to test me on this. All right, into the gates. And immediately, as you find yourself once again in that silvery place, your allies fade away.
Goodbye.
This one? I need to spend a day going back through my music. My music's all out of order.
It's all Mitch's fault.
Well, it's not just it's just been a couple months since I've really sat down and refigured music and put it back in its right place, etc., etc. So,
One minute since you looked at me.
everyone, moss-covered rock near stream, Eotodin, Rolvik, and the 6 legionnaires that accompany you fade away. It is the four of you once more within the silvery vein of energy that functions as the lifeblood of Undermountain. Your forward momentum halted as per normal. A familiar presence. Her breathing ragged.
It's not good.
It's good to see you again. I was worried the last time, but looks like you made it. Glad to see everyone back whole.
Mostly, you don't seem too much better than last we spoke.
In fact, maybe worse.
My altercation with the shadow has had undesirable results.
There's gotta be something we can do to help.
Succeed.
Aside from that.
You could help me. Yes, I think.
Just like throw a healing potion up into the void.
It'd be hilarious. Just like, oh, that felt great.
Hey, I'll better.
She speaks, but her speech is tentative, hesitant, as if she's testing each word before she says it, testing the boundaries of what she can and cannot say. I am a creature of magic. Strong magic can help restore me.
Everyone looks at Ezra.
Give me strength.
The whole
Again.
party turns to Ezra.
Sorry.
Not your magic.
Oh.
No
Ezra
offense.
just folds his arms.
My magic's not good enough anymore, huh?
Oh, I managed not to save you, huh?
No
Look at her
offense.
Offense taken.
You are all powerful and worthy.
True.
You are not strong because you stand alone. You're strong because you stand together. The strength I would need to begin to restore myself would need to come from one strong enough to stand by themselves.
Jeez.
More specifically, a spellbook.
And by Halaster Blackcloak.
No.
Sorry, no.
It's fine. Look, we can send a note to Ochotu. He can go buy it back real quick.
If a third level spell book is all we needed.
If you could bring to me, you would grant me strength of one of the seven.
Oh, okay.
That could restore me.
Not ominous at all.
Ezra kind of clutches his bag, knowing there's a Calabash book in there, just slightly concerned.
I could grant you my protection once more. Shield you from the shadow.
I mean, that's great. That would be wonderful, but I think we're more concerned about you being okay right now.
My longevity is not important. What is important is that you succeed. Without being able to move as you need, it weighs every decision that you make.
True. That is true.
I would aid you if I could, but if I face the shadow again, I will fall. And I cannot fall to it yet.
Then don't.
All right. Well, we'll just get a spell, one of the 7 spell book. We can do that probably.
Do not underestimate them. But at the same time, do not avoid them forever. They are the key to undermining Halaster's power.
Really? Like, because he'll be weaker if we dispatch them, or
Sever the 7 from the 8 before the 9 are reborn in shadow.
She said the thing.
oh, the thing.
The force restricting your movement recedes. The current takes you forward. Ezra, was that your D100?
Yep.
I need everyone else to roll me a D100. He came prepared.
Yes, not like a 7 this time.
Not like a
Finally.
7 this time.
Well, I've gotten fucked the last couple times.
You have gotten fucked the last couple times.
And then all of y'all roll 4s.
94,
Wow.
84, 64. Nice. A lot of 4s.
Wow.
What is so cool with 74?
Good.
That would be pretty neat.
Typical J.
Nintendo 64.
Best console.
As you are
Weird.
gliding
console.
forward through the arcane lifeblood of Undermountain, you feel the shadow all around you. You see the eyes piercing down. But on a 26,
I think it was a 25 or higher I
one
needed.
higher than a
Yep.
25. The eyes do not see you, purely based off of the blood ritual protection of the Preta Kripa.
Yeah, shrouded by the Preta Kripa.
Pass unnoticed beyond the sight, the shadow under the mountain. And one by one
Nice.
are deposited outside of Arcane Gateway
I can't wait to
in the
kill that thing and
lost
cut its bones out.
levels.
We made it!
I just like Jeremy questioning if I remember what the numbers are for the shadow.
You
don't.
step into a scene with a Legion shield wall in front of you. Shouts yelling out,
Oh, God.
threats
The timeline.
called back and forth, and a hurdle of crossbow bolts
Oh,
shattering into shields as a sudden explosive meeting between the Legion and House Freth develops. And that is where we are going to go to break. We will be back in just a few minutes with more Dungeon of the Mad Mage.
Yeah, we probably should have sent word, huh?
BRB! Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, commenting, or subscribing. It really helps me out. If you'd like to see me live, head over to my Twitch at twitch.tv/thedistanthorizon.